All right, I'm just going to do a quick video on the quiz correction, so those that want to check it can do so. All right, so question one, was a revenue type scenario. A lot of you did very well on this. You entered everything correctly into the chart. You came up with the correct equation. You showed me the keystrokes. The maximum what's the maximum expected revenue? It's revenue, it's the Y value. So I was supposed to see this part here as your answer. So if you didn't do that right, you lost half a mark. Some of you mentioned the price is 51.67. That's correct, but they're asking for revenue, so it had to be this. There were some rounding errors. Some of you got the equation wrong, probably typed in the wrong values from the table. But I would honor it going further. Okay, so the domain, right? The domain, you needed to find the x-intercept, so I needed to see some kind of keystroke indication there because it's where it meets the x-axis, and the range is from 0 to the highest point, which is given to me by the vertex. Graphing should look something like this. I was looking for a consistent increment in your scale. So if every 4 boxes represents 25 for you, that needs to be consistent. If I see that, you go 25 and then you go 50, right? If the gaps are inconsistent, you would lose half a mark. And so I go up by 10,000 here. Profit and units, right? Both of them are in dollars. So I was looking for that. I was looking for the equation. And just in general, are the points where they're supposed to be. So that first page gave you 7 marks because it included a graph. Then the back side, it says all 4 types, but I didn't give you one where all points are given, right? I didn't do that. At the local beach, right? You have a scenario where there's the beach and you have it fenced in around, or you're trying to set up a perimeter so that people swimming are protected. So no buoys needed here, no rope needed here, okay? Along the sand, so it's just the water part that is fenced in. So in this case, the perimeter or the amount of fencing you have available needs to be spread out over 1 length and 2 widths. And I kind of indicated isolate for length. So you have to bring the 2W over. So I needed to see this expression somewhere. Okay. You use this every time to figure out the different lengths given these widths that I've given you. All right, so you figured that out. So you got 1 mark for the equation here for length. You get 1 mark for the table filled out correctly. You get 1 mark for the equation. And then it asked for dimensions. Dimensions, I need to see the length and the width that would maximize the area. So you need to find the vertex, and it will give you the length automatically, and then you use the area and the length to determine the width, which is 162.1. So 1 mark each there. The maximum area is simply given from here, just basically seeing if you're understanding what's happening there. And question 3, right? This is where a lot of you lost marks. Okay, and sorry if this is a little scratched out. This was my original. I made some changes, right? So basically the elastic it leaves at a height of 0, 3.5, reaches a maximum height of 7, it says, and then lands on a desk that is at the same height after 1.1 seconds, right? So this elastic never touches the ground based on the story, right? And in this case, I give you what it would take to get to the other side. So some of you multiplied, right? You thought the 1.1 goes here, so you just multiplied to get this. So you have to be careful. Maybe go back to your study sheets and make sure you understand that if I give you this, you'd have to divide it by 2 to get the x value of the vertex. Okay, so this is where a lot of you made a mistake. You lost a full mark there. If you missed that, you put this into a table and you come up with your equation. Actually, I would say this was the equation. I saw quite a few equations that were done correctly. But when it came to the domain and range and maybe even the graph, you missed some points, right? Determine the domain and range of the situation. So domain, in fact, goes from 0 to 1.1. The range goes from 3.5 to 7. Like it never goes below 3.5. So your range should be that. Okay, 3.5 to 7. That's it. And your graph should reflect that, right? It should just go like this and land on the desk. Time seconds, height feet, consistent increments going both ways, equation there, and that would be giving you the marks there. So that is everything that I can think of. And so you just make sure you make notes of that and update your study sheets, all right? Take care.